Let's start here. WWE is officially moving their premium live events to ESPN starting next month. This was originally supposed to happen next year, but they're pushing it up early and kicking things off with WrestlePalooza. Yup, WrestlePalooza. And while at first that might sound exciting, it's not. This isn't some big win. It's just another money grab. Let me show y'all something. Here's the graphic of third row ticket prices for WrestlePalooza. You're looking at $5,000 to $6,000 for third row, not front row, not second row, third. And it's not even in a stadium. It's just a regular arena. Do you understand how insane that is? When you factor in taxes and fees, you're paying over $6,000 to sit in the third row. That's not just expensive. That's robbery. This is a company that has completely sold out to the dollar. They're desperate. The booking is trash. The product has fallen apart. And listen, we're going to get into SmackDown in just a bit. But first, I just want to say, man, I'm so glad to be here talking about this. All of you who've been with me since the start, or if you just joined along the way, I appreciate you. I love y'all. And isn't it wild to see how things have changed? I've been calling this out for over a year now. I said WWE was going downhill, and this year, it's been a complete mess. I told you after that Raw to Netflix deal that things would spiral. I even made a video predicting that this would be WWE's worst year ever. And guess what? That's exactly what we're seeing now. WrestleMania, garbage. SummerSlam, garbage. Money in the Bank, garbage. Saturday night main events, garbage. Week to week Raw and SmackDown, garbage. You feel me? And now suddenly, people are waking up like, oh man, why do the shows feel so flat? Why are the ticket prices insane? Why does it feel like no one's trying anymore? Why is it so repetitive? And people are starting to question whether Triple H is really better than Vince McMahon. Well, look who was right all along. Back in the day, people used to say I was just hating, that I didn't know what I was talking about. But now look, this company is falling apart, plain and simple. They're hammering the last nails into the coffin. And real talk, the only reason I'm even going to watch WrestlePalooza next month is because of this channel. If I didn't have to cover it for y'all, I wouldn't be watching. And even if I did, let's just say it wouldn't be through official means. You get what I'm saying. Now let's look at the hard facts. Fox canceled SmackDown due to disappointing ratings. NBC is unhappy with the numbers for Saturday night main event. Those ratings are awful. Twitter dropped WWE Speed, and Netflix, who handed over something like $5 billion for WWE content, is already seeing garbage numbers. WWE can barely pull 2.7 million viewers worldwide over a 7-day period. That's embarrassing. Truly, Netflix overpaid massively, and they're already regretting it. Saturday night main event ratings? Absolutely terrible. I reported a week or two ago they couldn't even crack 2 million viewers, probably closer to 1.5 million for a national network broadcast. That's just unacceptable. Everyone knows it. And then there's Clash in Paris coming up. Last year, France was on fire for WWE. That crowd was electric. Jey Uso had a big-time entrance, and it felt like a real moment. But this year, a week away, and they're still far from sold out. France isn't like the US, where WWE hits 40-plus cities every year. They don't get PL events regularly. In fact, last year was the first one in decades. So you'd think this year's return would be even bigger, especially with stars like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso, John Cena, all on the card. But nope, still not sold out. That says a lot. You can have all the top names in the world, but if the product sucks, people aren't going to pay for it. So now that we've broken all of that down, let's finally get into the SmackDown review. We kicked off with Becky Lynch coming out in her hometown of Ireland. She cut a promo, but I'm going to be real with you. This was one of the most boring promos I've ever heard from her. Seriously, it was just words, and more words. I barely remember any of it. It was basically a "you people" promo where she goes off about how no one appreciates her, and I just sat there thinking, this ain't it. Becky Lynch came out and cut one of those classic "you people" promos. You know the kind, you don't respect me, you weren't there for me. It just felt like a hollow rant with no real explanation or emotional payoff. She basically went on about how the fans never appreciated her and how they hype up other Irish stars who don't even matter, and honestly, it was boring. Let's not lie to ourselves. Nobody was entertained. We've got legends like John Cena in his final run, and top-tier stars like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, all on the roster. Becky Lynch is one of my all-time favorite women's wrestlers, but this was the best creative could give her. If she had nothing meaningful to say, just announce a match. Say she's headlining the main event or something. Instead, we got a long, dragged-out segment that felt like a complete waste of time. She's out here screeching at the top of her lungs, and the whole thing felt forced. Again, no one is entertained by that. Anyway, after that segment, Tiffany Stratton came out. And look, I've been saying this for a while now. There's absolutely no reason for her to still be holding the women's title. None. Her promos are weak. Every single time it's the same thing. Yada, yada, yada. It's Tiffy time. That's it. No substance, no evolution, not exciting. She's just not ready to be the face of the division. And if you disagree, sorry, but either you're biased or you just don't really know what you're talking about right now. Tiffany's title run has had zero standout feuds, no strong storytelling, and her in-ring work is filled with botches. Maybe one decent match here and there, but nothing consistently great. Most of her matches are straight up mid. Then, of course, here comes Nia Jax. Again, talking to Tiffany. Again, for what feels like the 50th time. And then, her and Becky Lynch randomly team up to beat down Tiffany for a quick segment. But then, boom, Jade Cargill shows up, gets a great pop from the crowd, and it's announced we're getting a tag team match. Becky Lynch and Nia Jax versus Jade and Tiffany. And look, I'm all for getting Jade some shine, but let's just take a second here. The last time Becky and Nia faced off, they were feuding on Raw not that long ago. I guess that doesn't matter anymore when WWE needs to throw a tag match together last minute. Logic and continuity go out the window. And what's even dumber, Jade and Tiffany were just feuding over the WWE title at SummerSlam a few weeks ago. Now they're suddenly teaming up in a completely meaningless tag match? This is why Raw and SmackDown don't hit anymore. There's no consistency, no reason to get invested. Next, we get another tag match, because that's all SmackDown is lately. Tag team after tag team after tag team. This time, it's Mello and Miz versus... Who did they even face? I think it was the Motor City Machine Guns, or should I say Machine Bums. The way they've been used lately, the match was forgettable. The crowd gave Mello a mixed reaction. Some boos, some cheers, Miz got his usual pop, and the whole story was basically the same as last week. Mello does the work, hits his finisher, and Miz swoops in to take the pin for the win. That's the dynamic. On the bright side, it's nice to see WWE using Mello more. He's super talented and deserves a strong push. If they handle this storyline right, it could actually help elevate him in the long run. He's got real star power. Anyway, after that, we get Charlotte Flair versus Piper Niven, and somehow Charlotte loses. Yes, Charlotte Flair, a 15 or 16-time champion, lost clean to Piper after a Michinoku driver. Let me just break this down for a second. Piper kicked out of a spear, survived a moonsault, and escaped the figure of 4, despite interference. Then turns around and pins Charlotte with one move. Make it make sense. Last week, Alexa Bliss, who's much smaller than Charlotte, rolled up Piper and pinned her clean. So how does Charlotte, one of the most dominant women in WWE history, lose like this? So it's ridiculous. And no, this doesn't make Piper look like a legit threat. Because when the inevitable tag match happens, Charlotte and Alexa versus Piper and Chelsea Green or Alba Fire or whoever, they're not winning. Everyone knows that. So again, what was the point? This is just like last year when Solo pinned Roman in a tag match at Crown Jewel. We all knew Solo would never beat Roman in a singles match, so the win meant nothing. Just like this. Now let's talk about the best part of the night, John Cena's promo with Logan Paul. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Logan Paul is absolutely going to be in the world title picture soon, and he's probably going to win it. Whether you like him or not, he's money. And in terms of actual young talent under the age of 33 or 35, Logan stands out in a huge way. Take someone like Logan Paul, for example. If we're talking about stars in their late 20s or early 30s, Logan Paul is at the very top of the list. And honestly, it's not even close. He's leagues ahead in terms of talent, charisma, and presence. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Carmelo Hayes. I think he's great, and I'd probably rank him as the second most talented right behind Logan. After that, maybe Braun Breaker. But honestly, I think Trick Williams might actually be better than both Milo and Braun. So if I had to rank them, it'd be Logan Paul at number 1, Trick Williams at number 2, then Carmelo, and finally Braun. Those are, in my opinion, the 4 most promising guys who are either in their 20s or early 30s. You've also got someone like Javon Evans, who I think is still only 20 or 21. He has plenty of time to grow, and I'd expect him on the main roster within the next couple of years. But back to Logan Paul, his talent is off the charts. He went out there and delivered a great, entertaining heel promo against John Cena, one of the best mic workers in the history of wrestling. And that's not an exaggeration. Cena is easily top 5 all time on the mic. The fact that Logan went toe-to-toe with him and held his own says a lot. Be real with yourself. Can Trick Williams, Melo Hayes, or Braun Breaker go out there with John Cena, stand in the ring for a full segment, and cut a promo that actually lands? I don't think they can. We already saw Braun struggle on the mic with Roman Reigns a few weeks before SummerSlam. He looked out of his depth. Trick Williams has charisma, but he hasn't proven he can hang on the mic with elite-level guys yet. And Melo, while talented, hasn't shown he can thrive in that kind of high-pressure promo segment either. Meanwhile, Logan Paul keeps showing up and not only delivering great promos, but also putting on match-of-the-night performances at nearly every PLE he's on. His match with Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, honestly, that might be one of my favorite WWE matches of the decade. top 15, maybe top 20. Logan has the look, the size, the athleticism, the mic skills, and the mainstream appeal. He's got charisma for days. He's a natural heel. He brings in outside eyeballs, so what are we even talking about here? He's the next top guy, no question in my mind, and this promo just solidified it. He went out there and cooked on the mic. One of the highlights was when he said, "I'm tired of putting on bangers every time I show up, bringing in millions of dollars to the company, and still being called an outsider by the Twitter wrestling crowd." He even did that little mocking pout. While saying it, it was funny and sharp. Then he took a shot at Cena and said, "I don't need to get naked at the Oscars to get attention," which was a hilarious jab. And then he hit the crowd with a game. "Let's play a game of who's the imposter." He asked the audience, "Who's the fake here? The guy breaking his back every week for your entertainment, or the guy playing pretend in Hollywood?" He didn't stop there. He asked again, "Who's really here for wrestling? The guy who's still showing up every week trying to build something, or the guy who's been doing the same 5 moves for the last 23 years?" That line killed. Great writing, great delivery. It was a near perfect heel promo from someone who's only been in the business for a few years. And then Cena responded. And of course, John Cena did what he always does. He delivered. He always brings that emotional weight and authenticity. And you could see it this time. As soon as he walked out and did the salute, you could tell he was emotional. He looked sad. It hit me. Cena probably has about 10 or 11 dates left in this retirement run. And honestly, this whole retirement year has been wasted. There's only one person to blame for that. And it's Triple H, triple fraud. He's the one behind this booking. He's the one who made Cena turn heel instead of using him properly. The Rock wanted Cody to go heel, but nope, they stuck with the wrong creative moves. Cena randomly turned face again a few weeks ago, and it felt completely unearned. We're talking about John Cena here, arguably the greatest of all time. He's got 10 more appearances left, and what has he even done this year? This retirement tour has been an absolute letdown, and Triple H is the reason for that. Now maybe they can salvage the final 10 appearances and make them feel special. Tonight was a step in the right direction. Cena showing up here and being part of this segment was great, but still, when you look back on the year, it's a disappointment. Anyway, Cena got on the mic and responded to Logan with heat. He straight up called Logan a disappointment, said he's not hype, he's just a letdown. He accused Logan of using WWE as a branding tool for his Prime drink, not because he respects the business or the fans. And then Cena knocked over the Prime bottles at ringside. Huge pop. Great moment. Logan Paul had made that comment about John Cena doing the same 5 moves for the last 23 years. Cena came back at him hard. He pointed out that Logan's only wrestled 23 matches, while he's given 23 years to this business. He made it clear they are not the same. Cena reminded everyone that he's been fighting both on and off camera, even bringing up an old match with Sheamus in Dublin from years ago. Meanwhile, Logan was still goofing off on Vine with his brother Jake. That contrast really drove the point home. Then Cena dropped another truth bomb. Logan Paul doesn't care about what he can contribute to wrestling. He's only in it for what he can take from it. And he said exactly what a lot of us are thinking. The fans see through all the nonsense. We see Logan's game. Cena also listed the people he wanted to face this year. Dominic Mysterio, the Usos, Jacob Fatu, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles. And hearing that just made me shake my head, because those are all matches we should have gotten if Triple H had the slightest clue what he was doing with this retirement run. You could have easily booked Cena to win the WWE or world title at WrestleMania, keep him as a babyface, and give us the summer of Cena. Run those dream matches all summer long. Dom versus Cena in a Raw or SmackDown main event for the title, that would have been insane. Or Cena versus Jey Uso. Not in some meaningless tag match with Cody, but in a real one-on-one. Let's be honest, when it's John Cena's final year, fans will tune in no matter what. Face versus face matches? Who cares? People just want to see Cena wrestle big names before he retires. The fact that we haven't seen any of these matches yet is just embarrassing. Anyway, back to the promo. Cena ended it strong. He told Logan, "You might know about hustle, but you don't know anything about loyalty and respect." Then he said he checked Logan's history. And let's just say, there's plenty of legal baggage there. So yeah, don't lecture John Cena about respect. He closed it with a warning. Logan's going to find out what it really means to give to this business when Cena beats the crap out of him at Clash in Paris. Right after that, Logan knocked Cena's hat off and gave him a shove. Cena dodged a punch, hit the attitude adjustment, and stood tall in the ring. It was a hype way to end the segment. Cena even came back out afterward just to take in the moment with the crowd. You could tell it meant a lot to him. He really soaked it in. It was a special moment, and honestly, it was easily the best thing on SmackDown in months. After that, we got Street Profits versus MFT. I'm not even going to talk about it. I didn't care who won. I stopped watching after Cena's promo because nothing else was going to top that. That was the real main event. Then we had a Drew McIntyre promo. He said Cody Rhodes doesn't have any more friends in the business and Everyone's left him. Then out comes Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere. Now, yeah, it's always cool to see Orton return, but again, where does this go? What's the point? I want to see Drew win a world title, not just get RKO'd, maybe win a throwaway match next week, and then lose to Cody at WrestlePalooza. Drew just feels like he's stuck in creative limbo, and it's frustrating. Finally, in the main event, Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill got the win over Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. That's it. That's all I've got to say, because let's be real. The real main event already happened earlier in the night. Everything after the Cena-Logan segment felt like filler. Nothing else on this show was nearly as entertaining or important. The rest of the episode was forgettable at best, and in some cases, just straight up bad. So, overall, I'm giving this episode of SmackDown a 3 out of, and honestly, all 3 points are just for the Cena versus Logan Paul segment. That was a highlight. Everything else, either garbage, nonsensical, boring, or just plain badly booked. And yeah, we can thank Triple H for that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for the continued support. I respect you all. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.